This was a test on a unit introducing us to quadratics. So that's all about parabolas. So this video is going to cover a whole bunch of things, including domain and range, vertex, graphing, rate of change, intervals of increasing and decreasing. I could go on. It's gonna get real. All right, but problem number one: what is the range of the function shown? Well, range is all about the y values from bottom to top. So the y values go from here at 2, and then they go up forever. So that's why the range is going to be from 2 to positive infinity. Okay, something like this is what I'm looking for. So what do I have? Oh, look, there it is, b. Okay, number 2 is a little trickier. If the graph of this generic quadratic, all right, this parabola, opens down, which of the following must be true? Well, look, it's all about the a value here. Okay, if this number in the front is negative, then that's how you know that it opens down. All right, so a has to be a negative number. A is negative. All right, what's another way of saying that a is negative? Well, the a value is less than 0. That's what it means for this number in front to be negative. So that's what we know. That's why, yeah, C has nothing to do with it. That's all. That's why the answer is A. I should put that probably here, as long as I'm doing multiple choice. This one was B. Great. All right, number 3. Which function does not have a maximum value? Well, look, people, when we're talking about these parabolas, if you have a parabola like this has no max because it goes up forever. All right, a parabola like this would have no minimum value because it goes down forever. So if they're saying which one has no max, that's another way of saying which one faces upward. Okay, so we're looking for one that has a positive a value. Okay, well, the a value is always going to be right here next to the x squared. So this a value is -1. Okay, so that's downward facing. It has a maximum. So that's not the answer. This a value is -1. All right, that's downward facing. It has a maximum value. That's not the answer. Okay, this one, -2 a value. That's downward facing. It has a maximum value. Oh, but look, this last one, 5, +5. That means it is upward facing. It goes up forever, so it has no maximum value. The answer is D. Number 4. What is the vertex of this parabola? Well, this is in vertex form, so it's just going to be the opposite of this, comma this. So I'm looking for +4, comma 3. And oh, look, there it is right there. The answer is A. Now, on the other hand, look at number 5. We're given this, and we need to find the vertex. Well, there's a bunch of ways that you can do that. But one way to find the vertex is to realize that the x-coordinate of the vertex is always going to be opposite of b over 2a. So let's do that. So opposite of b, well, this is b right here. So the opposite of b is going to be +20 over 2a. Well, there's a right there. So that tells us that the x value is going to be 20 over 4. So that tells us that the x value is going to be 5. So far we know the x value is 5. Alright, so that means the answer is not A, not B. It might be C, it's not D. So out of these choices, the answer had to be C. But what if they gave us more than one point that had an x value of 5? How would we know the right y value? Well, we would just take the x value of 5 and plug it in. So let's do that real quick. If I plug in 5, I should get negative 32 since that's the answer that I'm picking. But let's see. So I'm talking about 2 times 5 squared minus 20 times 5. Okay. So 2 times 5 squared minus 20 times 5 plus 18. Oh, look, negative 32. Okay, so that's why the answer is C. All right, part C, what are the zeros of the function shown? Well, the zeros are the x-intercepts of the function, okay, right here and here. So the zeros are negative 2 and 3. Why is it not writing? Negative. Okay, technical difficulties. Okay, so where are they? Negative 2, nope, negative 2. Oh, here we go, negative 2, comma 0, and 3, comma 0. So that's why the answer is C. Okay, number 7. Which section or interval has the largest average rate of change? Look, rate of change is the slope. So they're really asking which interval or section has the greatest slope. Okay, so look, let me make this a little more clear. So we have this section right here, from here to here. Okay, what is the slope of this section? Well, whatever it is, it's negative. Okay, can you see that this is going downhill? This is a negative slope. This is down 3 over 1. So this is a slope of negative 3. Okay, what about this interval over here? All right, interval B. All right, anything positive is going to be bigger than a negative. So A is definitely not the answer. Okay, let's look at B here. So this seems to be, well, it's kind of in between the lines, but look, maybe we don't need to actually calculate the numbers. All right, let's just look at them and see which one is steeper. Okay, so there's B, here's C. Okay, let's see, who's winning so far? B is definitely a steeper slope than C. So far B is winning. Okay, the negative one doesn't even come close because a negative slope is lower than all of the positive ones. All right, this is A is even less than C, which is flat. But then look at D. Oh, look at that guy. Oh man, that is cray cray. Okay, I guess we're doing purple right now. Look how steep that is. D is way steeper than B. So without even having to do the calculations, you know that D is going to be the greatest of these slopes. Okay, because I'm using Microsoft Word, I can slide these over right next to each other so you can clearly see. All right, I'll make them start from the same point. Clearly this purple one is steeper than all the rest. Okay, so it's all about D. Steepness, man. That's how you know which slope is greater. Oh, okay, so yeah, D. Okay, I did it right. Great. Anyway, number 8. Graph this function, list 5 points on the table, and do the graph. Well, At a glance, we should know a bunch of things, but we should know the vertex, which is the opposite of this, comma this. So positive 4, comma 9. We should put the vertex in the middle of the chart. So 4, comma 9. Now for the rest, and we might as well graph that. All right, so here we go. 4, comma 9. That should be the vertex right there. Because of that negative in the front, we know it's going to be upside down. Okay, to get more points, let's go to the TI-30 XS multi-view. So I've got negative x minus 4 squared. So what you want to do is go to the table, clear that out. So I had negative quantity x minus 4 close parentheses squared, and then it was plus 9. Okay, whatever. Okay, so there's my vertex right there, 4, comma 9. To the left of that, I've got 3, comma 8. Okay, so I'm going to have 3, comma 8, and then 2, comma 5. All right, just pulling it all right off the calculator. And what about after 4, 9? All right, I've got 5, 8, and 6, 5. So 5, 8, and 6, 5. Now notice the symmetry. Once you have the vertex right here in the middle, these two should match, and these two should match. So we already graphed the 4, comma 9. Now here comes the we've got the 3, comma 8. All right, so here's 3, 8. And while I'm at it, I might as well graph the 5, 8 as well. Okay, that's those two. And then we've got the 2, 5, which is right here, and then the 6, 5, which is right here. So that's 5 points. I'm betting at least another point or two will fit on this graph. And we've got the calculator right here, so why not use it? So if I go down the next step, I've got 7, comma 0. All right, so that'd be right here. Without even looking at the calculator, I know that that means this will be a point, all right, because of the symmetry. All right, how about 8, comma negative 7? So if I go to 8, and then negative 7 would be right here. So that means if I go to 0, negative 7, that should be a point too. So all of these points are on my parabola, and then you would just connect those as best you can. Okay, try not to make it too pointy. Alright, so there is your mighty parabola. Now, what is the vertex? Well, that's 4, comma 9. What is the equation of the axis of symmetry? Well, the axis of symmetry is this line right down the middle. Vertical lines are always x equals, and it's at 4. So we're going to say x equals 4. What's the domain? Well, domain is x values. All right, this thing goes left forever and right forever. So that's why the domain is going to be negative infinity to positive infinity. What's the range? Well, the range is y values. From bottom to top, this thing goes down forever and up to 9. So that's negative infinity to 9. Okay, we'll use a nice bracket on the 9 because it does touch 9. What's the y-intercept? Well, the y-intercept is always 0, comma something. And look, it's right here, 0, comma negative 7. Aren't you glad we graphed those extra points? So you should always do that. So 0, comma negative 7. What are the zeros? Well, the zeros are the x-intercepts of the function. All right, so I'm seeing 1, comma 0 and 7, comma 0. All right, does this graph have a maximum or a minimum? It has a maximum. It has no minimum. Okay, where is the maximum value? When they say where, they're talking about an x value. Okay, so that's going to be 4. All right, the maximum value of 9 is at an x value of 4. Okay, so where is the maximum value? It's at 4. Yeah, I mean, if you put 4 comma 9, if you put the whole vertex again, we might let you slide. But technically, if they say where, they're talking about an x value. Does the parabola open up or down? Clearly it opened down. Okay, so that is how you did number 8. Alright, number 9 is not in vertex form, but we could calculate the vertex easily by remembering the x-coordinate of the vertex is always opposite of b over 2a. B is 8, so that means negative 8, and a is 2, so 2a is 4. So that tells me that the x value of the vertex is going to be negative 2. Alright, so let's put that right in the middle. That's going to be negative 2. That means this will be negative 3, negative 4, negative 1, and 0. Now we can get all the y values from the calculator. So here we go. 2x squared plus 8x plus 6. Alright, 2x squared plus 8x plus 6. Whatever. I can scroll like a champ. I can scroll like a boss. Let's see. Alright, so right here you see the vertex happening. So my vertex is actually negative 2 comma negative 2. That's kind of cool. Alright, now the rest of it. I see on either side of that I got zeros. Okay, these should always be the same thing. So as I scroll down, I really don't have to scroll back up. Okay, because I see the next I have 0 comma 6. So I know this is also going to be 6 without even looking. So let's graph what we have so far. So we've got negative 4 comma 6. Alright, we've got negative 3 comma 0. Negative 2 comma negative 2. Negative 1 comma 0. And 0 comma 6. Alright, I doubt any other values are going to fit on this graph. But let's take a quick look. And yeah, the next one is at 16. That's off the graph. So we will have to make ourselves happy with these values. Okay, so there's your parabola. What is the vertex? Negative 2 comma negative 2 was the vertex. Okay, what is the equation of the axis of symmetry? Well, axis of symmetry is right down the middle here, and it's at negative 2, so we're going to say x equals negative 2. What's the domain? Domain is x values, and this goes left forever and right forever. So that's negative infinity to positive infinity. What's the range? The range is y values. And this goes from negative 2 to infinity. Always go bottom to top. And this should have a bracket at the negative 2. Alright, because it does touch negative 2. Negative 2 to infinity. Okay, what's the y-intercept? The y-intercept is always 0 comma something, so there you go, 0 comma 6. What are the zeros? Alright, the zeros are the x-intercepts, so negative 3 comma 0, negative 1 comma 0. Alright, does this graph have a maximum or a minimum value? It has a bottom. It has a minimum right there. where is this max or min? Remember, when they ask the question where, they are asking for an x value. So where is it? It's at -2. Okay. Does the parabola open up or down? Yeah, it opened up for sure.